very welcome back to the programme. Now, our next item is going to take us to the world of photography. We're going to meet Chris Connolly, who's specialised in insect and wildlife photography. Take a look. Chris, there are many different disciplines of photography. What got you into photographing insects?
From a young age, I was always interested in wildlife. Years ago, we used to live up in the hill of Allen, and on my days off, I'd walk up the hill and be away from all distractions, and I started to notice life on the forest floor, mushrooms, fungi, and I started taking photographs of those. And when you see all of these mushrooms and fungi together, you realise the diversity and the amount of different type of life that we have on the flora, and of course that led me on to photographing and getting interested in insects. With the equipment that I use, this equipment here, it allows you to see detail that you will not see with your naked eye. As far as I'm concerned, the insect world is the nearest thing we can get to exploring a new planet.
You're discovering a new world, you're bringing it to other people and you're showing them, and you're also representing Ireland as the awards in the UK. Tell me about that.
I entered into, well, in the summertime, that's when I would be most active with the camera. In the wintertime, insects aren't around, so that's my time to do my research. And in the wintertime then, I enter a lot of the photographs that I have into various different competitions. Like I've won awards now with Biodiversity Ireland, with the Irish Wildlife Trust, and I entered about 20 photographs into the World Photography Organisation, not really thinking it would go anywhere because I'm up against it. I mean, there was 175,000 entries from 171 countries, and I was picked to represent Ireland. Now, with the Sony World Photography Awards, there's 10 different categories. There's portraiture, landscape, architecture, and they pick 10 photographs from each of these categories, and then they narrow down to one photograph, regardless of category, who goes forward to represent their country in the Sony World Photography Awards. So that's happening in London on the 23rd of this month, which is similar to we'll say, the Oscars in the film industry. And I'm still not out of the loop yet. Now, there's a possibility that I could win the whole thing, but I doubt it very much because, I mean, as I said, we're up against the world's best. But it certainly does take me out of playing and put me onto the world stage.
It must be a really proud moment for you. I mean, you've put so much work into it, and you can't consider something like this like a job. It really is a passion, isn't it?
Oh, it is a passion. I mean, it's very hard to get insects to pay up. It is a passion. It's a labour of love. Yeah. Is it?
Photography wasn't always something that was on your radar. You only got into that recently, didn't you?
Yeah, about 5 years ago, yeah. And I just, weddings and stuff like that, and babies and dogs and whatever, that's just not me. I always kind of like the left to centre stuff, the stuff that people don't generally see. I was born with a creative gene, let's say. And if you're born with a creative gene, be it music, a chef will have this gene, graphic designers will have this gene, musicians will have this gene, photographers will have this gene. It's just a need to be creative.
So that creative gene pulled you then from music into photography?
Yeah. I mean, it's a need to build, it's a need to create something, it's a need to create magic. It's a bit like the music. I mean, when people walk away from, we'll say, a good concert, they feel good. And I like to think that when they walk away from some of my photographs, they feel good and they've also learned something. So it's both educational and entertaining.
What's next for Chris? I mean, you've almost conquered the world. We're a few weeks away from discovering whether you've pulled the big one. What's next? Have you got some other projects you're working on?
I'm going to stick with this for a while. I've only been working on this for maybe a year and a half, and this really only started by accident because I was on holidays when everybody else would be lying on the beach. I'd be in the bushes looking for insects and what have you.
You're a great guy to go on holidays with, aren't you?
Yeah. But it's like if somebody works in an office, they like to be outside. If people who sometimes would say, if people who are outside sometimes want to be inside, so people kind of want what they haven't got all the time.
The grass is always greener the other side.
Exactly, yeah. So the great thing about what I'm doing is, as I said, I will spend time here researching on the computer if I'm looking for a particular insect, I would obviously have to research their life cycle, their habitat, where you find them, the time of the year you find them, and then you go out and you actually do it. So it has the best of both worlds, of being inside, you know, away from the cold weather, and then in the summertime when obviously the weather is a bit warmer, being outside, it has that magical combination of that.
So Chris, if anybody's trying to find some more detail on your photographs, or even just to keep track to see if you managed to clinch that award, how can we find out more?
I have a website. It's called www.macrophotographyireland.com, and also have a Facebook page, www.facebook.com/macrophotography Ireland, and all the latest updates will be on either one or both of those sites.
Well, Chris, the very best of luck with the awards, and we really hope you do fantastically well at them.
Thanks, Alan.
But if you want to find out how Chris got on at those awards, you can check out social media, and updates will be posted there. And of course, I have to mention, there's another gentleman, and he's representing Ireland and Kildare in London at the moment at the Sony World Photography Awards. He's from Clane, and his name is Chris Connolly, and we wish him the very best. Hopefully by the end of the programme we'll have some idea whether he has won one of those awards, but if not, he's certainly doing some really good representing of Kildare and Ireland, so give Chris a big round of applause.
Doing up inside, and his eyes are wild, and he can't go on. And he says, la ta da da ta da da ta da da da, la ta da da ta da da ta da da da, la ta da da ta da da ta da da da, la ta da da ta da da ta da da da. Fire in your eyes, in your head, fire.